Jenny McCarthy Show. Oh!
The Chrisley family. Chrisley knows best. I absolutely can, every time the show comes on, Donnie goes, I know what you're watching because it's the only time you never leave the chair. I watch the entire seasons when they have marathons. Chrisley Knows Best, Season 6 premiere, 10 p.m. tomorrow on the USA Network. He's one of my favorites. Hi, how are you?
I am good, gorgeous. How are you?
Mr. Todd Chrisley in the house, everybody. Do I look gorgeous this morning?
You are stunning always.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Did you move to Tennessee, or is it just your daughter, Savannah, that moved?
No, our daughter, Savannah, moved. She graduated high school a year early, so she went to a school in Nashville, and that caused me to follow her. And so we fell in love with Nashville. We've been there now for 3 years.
You're kidding.
No, we just sold our home in Atlanta.
I can't believe that. I feel like Atlanta, you are that piece of Atlanta. What are we going to do with the whole state of Georgia now?
You know, I think that, listen, Atlanta's going to always be our home. It's where we raised our children. But I think I just turned 50, and I mean, I don't want to sit on the interstate anymore. I want to have a calmer life, and Nashville provides that.
I thought they were for sure going to just exchange the peach for your face on everyone's license plates. I'm like, oh, we're in the home of Todd Chrisley.
We have a lot of love there.
So did you have a salivary, I can't even say it.
Salivary gland.
Thank you.
Yes.
Explode?
It ruptured, and I had been on a press tour and came home on a Saturday. Woke up Sunday morning, and it was like there was this golf ball on the side of my throat, on my neck. And of course, me being as vain as I am, I was like, okay, this shit's not going to work for me. What's the problem? And went straight to the doctor, and he said, yeah, we got a problem. And they did my blood. The blood count was up like 15 times higher than what it should have been with the white blood cell count. So they had to take me into surgery and do their thing, and I'm all good now.
Okay, but I've never even heard of that. What is that?
They explained it to me. It's actually the salivary gland is what provides the saliva in your mouth, and it ruptured. And they said that can happen from yelling, which is probably why it happened with me.
Oh my God! And
or it can happen from just speaking in general. So I mean, I never shut up. So I mean, it was bound to run dry at some point.
That is, I'm sorry to say, but that's pretty freaking hilarious, Todd. I'm sorry that happened to you, but it's insane. Now, can you still make spit?
Oh, yes, I can. Yes, I can.
You seem to not have a problem right now. Can you believe that you're on, season 6?
Season 6, 100 episodes, Jenny. And, you and I, when I met you at The View, I still go back to the story of going on The View, which I loved that opportunity, but about how kind you always were.
Oh.
And I look back at that was kind of season 1, and Sherry Shepherd was there then, who I love dearly, and I remember her saying to me, "You're going to be fine," and she held my hand under the table.
Aww.
And you two kind of wrapped your arms around me and said, "You're going to be good. You're going to be good." And now here we are, 100 episodes later, 6 seasons, and I mean, you've had your own show.
Yep.
100 episodes is a lot of episodes.
It's a lot of episodes, and it's a lot more difficult than people think, because Donnie and I mean, we're kind of grateful that we had to stop thanks to Evan quitting, but
right.
it was so hard because our home is our sanctuary.
Right.
Like, you don't want people in it. You need a place to go.
Right.
Where it's safe and you can check out. You don't have that when you're doing a reality show.
You do not have that. I think, my kids have it because we film in our home. They get to go home to their homes, where they don't have to worry about lights in there and,
right.
cameras and 50 people in there and sitting in their garage, working this whole thing out. They get to walk in. I say every day, I provide you with your workplace. Be appreciative of that.
Exactly.
And so you do give that up. But, I also say that, my children are 21, 22, 28, and 27. And they all own their homes. They all own cars. They all have a savings account. And so, I feel like that, to whom much is given, much is required. And, we have an obligation to give back. And, what we, the fans have placed us where we are today. So, listen, it is what it is. I mean, you have to give up something to get something.
That's true. That's true. At least you're appreciative and aware of it. How have you kept your kids down to earth, normal, not brats?
Well, my children have never been normal, or we would not have a show. I think that, being a brat is not an option. I grew up very middle class. So, I'm grateful. I used to be, when I was growing up, I used to say, God, I wish I was from the wealthy family. I wish I was from the family that had all of this stuff. And now I look back and I say, God, thank you for placing me where you placed me, because it gave me a humility. It gave me an appreciation and a respect for hard work.
That's right.
And, my children, they've grown up and they've seen Julia and I work, and they know what it's like to work. And now, do they have the same work ethic that Julia and I have? No, because they come from a lot more than what she and I came from.
Right.
And I think that, we have to be very cautious. When you come from very humble beginnings, and the first thing you do when you make money, you want to give your kids everything that you wanted to have, because you feel like they have to have that. I think that's an injustice that we do as a parent.
100%. And did you ever feel like you needed to undo it? Did you ever?
Oh, I did undo it. I did undo it.
How?
Because I stopped. It's very simple. If you're the one that's giving, you also have the ability to stop giving. And when my children decided that they had forgotten more than I ever knew, then that told me that you no longer need to be in my pocket. So you will now subsidize your own screw-ups. I will not do that.
Ooh, that's good. I know Evan turned 16 next month, and I'm making him get his first job.
Right.
And so he went and interviewed, and he got it at the ice cream shop. And I said, perfect.
Love that.
He wants a car. I go, you're going to pay for it.
Right.
And so he's doing it all himself. That's what I did.
Well, and listen, my kids will say, I bought my own. I said, please shut up. This is the first car you ever bought. I bought you 4 more. I bought the first 4. So, stop acting like you did something great here, because, you did it because you're on television. Let's not get lost in the theory.
I'm talking to Todd Chrisley, as you guys could tell from his voice. Chrisley Knows Best. I want to plug it again. Season 6 premiere, 10 p.m. tomorrow on the USA Network. Is Savannah still dating that NBA player?
No. We will, listen, she's 20 years old, and, she had to learn the hard way that most NBA players are not going to be faithful.
They're players for a reason.
Listen, I said to her, I said, at the end of the day, I said, they don't call them ballers for nothing. I said, so, listen, you signed up for it. Don't crawl in bed with a snake, then bitch when it bites you.
That's right. And you know what? You got great proof now looking at Chloe. You could show her.
Exactly. Well,
See what Tristan did?
And I did, and it's so hard for me, because I love Chloe, and I've loved her for so long, and I want her to be happy. I want her to find that moment, and I think that, listen, if they work it out, then that's up to her. That's her level of forgiveness. For me, I feel like that once you cross that line of bringing someone else into your marriage, into your relationship, into your bedroom, it's now a little crowded for me.
That's right.
And
it goes.
Yeah, we're kind of done at that point. But listen, she's better than I am. She may be able to forgive. But what I do know for Tristan, and I'm going to pray for him, is that women may forgive. They rarely forget.
Never. You're absolutely right. And I think Chloe's the one I think we can all collectively say everyone was rooting for.
Yes, because she's such a decent soul. She is such a good, decent soul. And she, listen, we get a bum rap sometimes on some of the things that we say and do, and the Kardashians certainly have. And what a lot of people may not know is that those girls are hard workers. They work nonstop. And you got to look at Kris Jenner and know that this woman, what she's done with her family, and I know because I deal with 5. She's got her children, and the level of appreciation and respect that your children sometimes forget to give while you're sitting at a desk negotiating the next deal or making this happen or making this happen. I was on a panel with her at the NAPI Awards, and I remember her saying on stage, she said that she collects 10%. She said, don't you collect 10%? And I said, no. I says, I don't take any money from my children. She says, no, you need to get your check. I find that the older that my children get and the more difficult they become, I'm starting to think I should probably be charging at this point, because it's not worth what I'm having to deal with. No. But I think that, Chloe, of all the girls, and I've met them all and they're all lovely, and she is just the one that I always gravitated towards, and I love her with all my heart.
I think we all have. I have to ask you, what is the Miss Universe Florida organization? How did you get involved with them?
Well, Savannah's always been in pageants her whole life. And, I looked at the situation and I felt like, I think we can do better. I think that we can make it better. And we never, our family business is always about empowering women, and I've raised daughters, and I don't want my daughters taking a seat on at the back of the bus. I don't want them taking a seat in the back of the boardroom. And I do believe that it is a pageant. I mean, I'm not looking for I'm not looking for the next astronaut. I'm not looking for the next, cure for cancer. I mean, it's a beauty pageant,
right.
And let's treat it as a beauty pageant. And if we can find someone that's truly beautiful on the inside as they are on the outside, and they have a caring, compassionate heart, and they have a servant's heart, and they're brilliant as well, then listen, I want them to be Miss Florida. Now, we've taken over California. So, I want California to have the same thing. I want these girls to know that, yes, you're beautiful, but, there's more to it than that. And I want them to practice having a servant's heart.
I love that. They do make great ambassadors when we do need them at certain charity events. So I do think it's a good thing, honestly.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, Miss USA's here, or Miss So-and-so's here. If they've got the beauty and the brains, they can go somewhere with it.
Yes, I'd like for you to be able to chew chewing gum and walk at the same time.
Exactly, and throw that baton in that air.
Exactly.
Is there a dark side to it at all?
Jenny, I think there's a dark side to everything that you do. I think that when these girls, when they're doing it because their family wants them to do it, they should leave. They should only be doing it because it empowers them. It builds their self-esteem. It builds their confidence. That's when they should be doing it, and when they believe that they have a platform that they truly can stand on and evoke positive change. But I think that there's negativity in everything that you do. I mean, I'm friends.
True.
I'm friends with Tiffany Fallon. You may know Tiffany. She was a playmate, and she's married to Joe Don Rooney.
Love Tiffany.
And we're all in Nashville together, and Jay DeMarcus is my best friend forever. And we live in a community that it's very hard for people sometimes to get past that she was a playmate.
Right.
And I look at it and say, we were at a party the other night, and I said, Tiffany, darling, it's very simple. These women dislike you because their husbands love you. I said, so it's a very simple solution.
That made her feel better, as long as you didn't say it in front of the other wives.
Well, I normally will say it in front of whoever's standing there. If you cause me to have to respond to something, you're going to get it direct.
Oh, I love that you have her back like that.
Well, listen, I think Tiffany's a beautiful woman.
I do too.
Listen, you are absolutely gorgeous, and I've always thought that you were gorgeous. Do I want, Lindsay and Savannah to go pose for Playboy? I don't, but because I don't think that's their path.
No, exactly.
But I'm not going to judge you for making that decision.
That is nice of you.
You made that decision because you felt like at that point in your life it was a decision you were comfortable with. It empowered you. You took control of your own identity as a woman, and I believe that women have that. They have that ability, and they have that right.
That is so nice of you to say. Thank you. I did use the money and got my parents out of the bad neighborhood they lived in. So I felt like I did some charity good with it. And it was my launching pad.
Darling, we have all hoard ourselves out at some point. I do every day.
I mean, what is the most common thing that people come up to you and say? Is there a collective question or response or a quote? You
got to love when people come up to you and say, oh, my God, you are so much better looking in person, because now you're sitting here saying, so I look like shit on television.
People say it to me all the time.
Yes, but you really do. I mean, you look gorgeous on camera and off.
That's nice of you.
But, I think that, I love when people come up and then we have a conversation, because people come up to us and they genuinely have a conversation because they feel like they're part of our family. And I think that that is such a blessing for us, Jenny, because it means that people are welcoming to us being in their living room for 22 minutes every Tuesday night. 100%. Or if you're on Watching USA every night, because, they air us every night. But I think that, I love to see people post, I met them and they were so nice.
Yeah.
I love to see that. I love to see, people posting things about my children that, and it's a picture that one of the kids have taken with someone, and there's always like, they are the nicest people. That as a parent, when you kind of start thinking, they may be a pain in the ass with us, but they get it.
Yeah, and I did my job.
Yes.
And you guys are doing your job because you're bringing so much happiness and joy to so many people, especially me, watching marathons of the show. Chrisley Knows Best, you guys, season 6 premiere. I can't even believe it. Congratulations on that. 10 p.m. tomorrow on the USA Network. God bless you. Tell your family I said hello and I love them so much.
Thank you, darling. We love you. God bless.
Come back. You too. We'll be
bye-bye.
right back, you guys.
Jenny McCarthy Show. Oh!